Windhorst is live with us now from OKC, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 38 points in Game 1. However, it took him 30 shots to get there. What potential changes could we see in Game 2 from SGA, Wendy?
Yeah, it was a good Shai game, but it was not a great Shai game. And look, during the regular season, Amina, he took 30 shots in a game 3 total times. He's done it twice in his last 3 games. And he also want to point out, he had 3 assists in Game 1. That was his lowest of any game in the playoffs thus far. So look, he's a leading scorer in the league. He's going to put up shots. He's going to put up points. But they didn't have a great distribution on offense in this game. And it would not surprise me if you saw Shai looking to set up his teammates a little bit more, take a couple fewer shots after the trend that's happened in the last few games. Yeah, definitely expecting SGA to be more efficient in Game 2. Meanwhile, the Pacers are 7-0 in Games 1 and 2 of this year's playoffs. What did Tyrese Halliburton say about their success early on in this series? Yeah, that 7-0 record sounds pretty impressive, and then you hear that 5 of those games have been on the road. And so the key of the last 2 series for the Pacers has been they went up 1-0 with surprising victories in Cleveland and in New York, and then they won Game 2. And so Tyrese Halliburton described how they've focused on doing that. And they've basically, as a team, tried to block out human nature. They've said to each other in meetings and in the locker room, let's not listen to what our friends and family say about the history when you get up 1 or 2-0 in a series. Let's not listen to what social media or ESPN says about what it means when you win the first couple of games on the road, and try to focus on acting like you're behind. That sounds like a pretty basic game plan, but whatever they're doing, it's been working, and they're going to try to do something we've only seen a few teams in NBA history ever do, which is go up 2-0 in a series on the road 3 consecutive times. And Wendy, I want to get your opinion on this. The Pacers underdogs going into Game 1, also underdogs going into Game 2 tonight. When you take a look at this Pacers team, why do people keep underestimating them based off of what we've seen, not only in the playoffs, but also in the regular season? Because, Amina, they believe that their play in these comebacks is fluky. And certainly there are instances where you could look at this run and say, yeah, there's some flukes involved. But how many times in a row does a team have to, outplay its opposition on the road in the fourth quarter before you recognize it's their character, it's not a fluke? And here we go again tonight with another opportunity to prove it. Yeah, that's definitely in Indiana's DNA at this point. Pacers 13-0 when they score at least 110 points in this year's playoffs, 0-4 when they don't. Brian Windhorst live with us from OKC. Thanks so much, Wendy. NBA Finals between the Pacers and Thunder in OKC. The Pacers lead the series 1-0. The Thunder looking to avoid a 2-0 hole. No team has ever won the NBA Finals after losing the first 2 games at home. The MVP says, though, that OKC doesn't need any more extra motivation.
You don't have to rile guys up or lock guys in. Like, we all have the same goal in mind, and we all know what it takes.
Everybody's pattern after a loss is to come more aggressively. So, he's going to be more aggressive. Williams is going to be more aggressive. Chet's going to be more aggressive. Their whole team's going to be even more aggressive defensively. And, the challenge for us is to be able to match that.
There's no team more confident in being ready to play really in any situation than ours. When the ball goes up in the air tomorrow, the better team's going to win, and we want to do everything we can to be that team.
Winning on the road is hard. Winning an NBA game is hard in general, and especially a playoff game, and let alone a finals game. It's not easy. This journey is going to be whatever it is, 18, 19 days until, it goes to Game 7. So you're trying to take it one day at a time, and that's how we've approached every playoff series that we've been in as a group. Is how can we take it a day at a time?
We are hours away from Game 2, and joined now by our NBA analyst Quentin Richardson and Anscape's David Dennis Jr. Game 1 was a thriller. We can all agree about that. That game-winning shot by Tyrese Halliburton that took over the internet. After what happened in Game 1, though, Q, how has your perspective changed about this series going into Game 2?
Morning, guys. My perspective has not changed. I mean, I came into this series, I didn't think it was going to be a sweep. I thought it would be a 5, 6, 7 game series, but I still picked the win. So for me, nothing has changed. I mean, obviously, if you look at the way that OKC has responded historically this season in this playoffs after a loss, I feel like tonight the OKC Thunder might win by upwards of 15 or 20 points, if I'm being honest with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective hasn't changed as well, along with Q, but my perspective is not the one that needs to change. It's the Thunder's perspective that needs to change. What we've seen with this Pacers team is they've, stolen a bunch of games. They stole games against Cleveland, stole games against New York, and they felt like, hey, we're the better team, but we let one slip away, and look where they are now. They're sitting here watching the Pacers. The Thunder have to realize that, no, we may think that we're the better team. We feel like we let one slip away, but you have to have the urgency of a team that is down 1-0 because you do not want to go down 2-0 and mess around and find out like all the other teams that lost to this Pacers squad.
I like how you made it a TV friendly. You said mess around and find Exactly. He was quick with that one. The Pacers proved once again in game 1 that the game is never over until it's over. It was the 5th time in this year's playoffs that Indiana came back from at least 15 down to win a game. It was the 10th time in the league overall. It was also the most in a single postseason since 1998. So, Q, how do you explain the amount of comebacks that we've seen this season in the NBA?
Three-point shooting, Amina. The three-point ball has become the ultimate. We can get back in the game. And even if you look at this game, the Pacers made 6 threes in the fourth quarter compared to the Thunder's 0. That's 18-0 off three-pointers. So I mean, now this generation with the analytics coming and exploding, and everybody saying this either should be a layup or a three, and guys running for threes on a fast break, and just the volume of three-point shooters from top to bottom on the team. That's the ultimate equalizer now. You could be down 15, down 20 points, and you can make 4 or 5 threes and be right back in the game. So that's just the new generation and how often we shooting threes now.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, but also I think it's the era that we're in. It's the changing of the guard. We're in the post-dynasty, post-greatness era, post-LeBron, post-Steph. We're watching these young teams learn how to win in real time. They're trying to figure it out. So you have these lapses where you blow leads or you may be up 2-0 and go on the road in game 3 and lose by 40 points like the Thunder doing. These are young teams learning how to put teams away, how to figure out how to tamp out runs, and how to really assert their dominance. So as we're going to get to these points, they get greater. They're going to hold on to these leads a lot more, but right now, some of these leads are going to slip away. Some of these series leads are going to slip away as they're trying to figure out how to be great and how to be future dynasties in the NBA.
Yeah, the in-game adjustments have been absolutely incredible in the regular season and in the post.
Is palpable in the city because they're not used to seeing their team blow leads like that. They're not used to seeing things go wrong for this team. They did have a similar thing happen to them in game 1 against Denver. And so that's what they're falling back on because big man in game 2, you were here for that. They won by like 35.
Yeah, and very similar. Blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. It was 12 in that case, 15 against the Pacers. Had the lead right up until the last few seconds. Aaron Gordon hit the three-point game winner with 2.8. Obviously, 0.3 of a second for Halliburton. But, like, you know this, I always say, one of the reasons the Thunder have been able to have so much success as young and inexperienced as they are is because they buy into the boring. Like all the Presty-isms, all the Thunder jargon that Mark Dagenhart preaches, they buy into that. How many times have you heard get back to neutral or get back to 0? You know, and that's a